So in New Zealand, we're very lucky to be able to just go out and do pretty much what we want. So we can do lots of hunting and fishing. So I'd like to go out into the wilderness and try to catch something and eat it.
Welcome to the Bountifull Podcast. I'm Shan, and this is a space for curious, thoughtful conversations about what it really means to live a bountiful life. In a world that often rewards more, faster, and louder, Bountifull exists to slow things down, to explore joy, resilience, creativity, and the small choices that shape how we live every day. Each episode is a conversation with someone who's thought deeply about life, work, health, money, relationships, or purpose, and what they've learned along the way. If you're looking for ideas you can actually live with, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. I found today's guest on YouTube and became a bit of a fan, as he documents his adventures in the wild places of New Zealand, including a diverse range of hunting, fishing, hiking, and boating. Tasman Denize is a YouTuber behind New Zealand Wild Adventures, and in this episode we learn more about his backstory, his connection to the land, what he's learnt from nature, and his thoughts on living simply, but more importantly, freely. I hope this episode inspires you as much as his adventures inspire me to live life to the fullest and to live life on your own terms. Tasmin, welcome to the Bountifull Podcast.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for responding to my random message because I follow your YouTube channel.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely unexpected, but more than welcome.
Can you share a little bit about your upbringing and background?
Yes. So I grew up very remote in the Marlborough Sounds. I did correspondence school for my whole schooling and pretty self-sufficient life since we moved out to the Sounds when I was 3, so pretty self-sufficient hunter-gatherer typey upbringing, which is really cool as an upbringing for a young man, I guess, young boy.
Were you always a bush kid, or was there a moment or season, or just growing up in the Sounds?
Just growing up in the Sounds, yeah. Just growing up hunting and gardening, I guess.
Were your parents particularly outdoorsy? What was the drive to move to quite remote and then, have bring your kids up in that way, do you think?
They were, I guess Dad was quite corporate in Wellington and totally different to what they do now. But they just decided to move out to the Sounds just to completely switch lives to be more self-sufficient and sustainable. When in 2001, both my sisters were 8 and 5, so they were a bit older, so they didn't suit the change as well. But for me, as a 3-year-old, it's perfect.
Tell me about correspondence and that sort of thing. What were your days like when you were growing up?
Good. There's lots of fishing and hunting to do. So, and because you just do it at home, you just do it whenever you wanted. Well, whenever you needed to do it. So you could go hunting in the morning or fishing in the morning and then just do it afterwards. But it was, in general, it was sort of a 9 till 3 sort of fairly standard. And then Mum and Dad were the teachers till I was 15, 16, and then they didn't know the stuff of the later years.
Calculus or something.
Yeah. So they were the discipline, and then I had to learn off the booklets. Yeah.
And then what were you doing before New Zealand Wild Adventures?
I was still doing adventures, but just not on film. The channel is tagged onto the adventures. It's after I started doing them, but now that I do the channel, I do more, which is nice.
And for those people new to your channel, what do your adventures typically look like?
So in New Zealand, we're very lucky to be able to just go out and do pretty much what we want. So we can do lots of hunting and fishing. So I'd like to go out into the wilderness and try to catch something and eat it. It's pretty simple. And just have a nice time. I don't necessarily have to catch something, but it's a tricky one because I know that it's better content if I do catch something and eat it, but then it's still really nice just to be out there in the wilderness, having a nice time, either alone or with people.
I think we've got to fill people in because, my husband and I found your channel because, you did 29 days solo, I think, in Fjordland.
Yeah, a year ago.
Yeah, and then you have a rubber boat, very capable, but you take it into some of the roughest waters that, in the world. Can you share a few of those adventures?
Sure. Yes, I've got a very small boat. It's 3.6 metres with an 18 horsepower Tohatsu on the back. And it's a very capable boat. Apparently it's not the most reputable brand, which is kind of funny, the places I've taken it. But it's... Actually, I feel quite a lot safer in it sometimes than a bigger, like, aluminium boat, because it is essentially a rubber life raft, which is a nice feeling when you're, like, out in the wop-wops in some rough weather.
So we're here, obviously, on the Bountifull Podcast. What does it mean to you to live a bountiful life?
I like the solitude. I like to go on trips by myself, and then I like sharing those experiences with other people. And then obviously if I can catch something, so like crayfish and power and venison, they're like awesome resources. And if I can share that with my family, then it feels pretty good to be able to share the bounty.
Some people, when I ask them that question, they don't. They're like, what does bountiful mean? And I kind of describe it as like, well, if you think about pirates who have like a bounty of treasure, that's kind of how I think about life. Like bounty for you is probably, like crayfish and, what you can eat from collecting stuff on the land. And for me, it's like the bounty of my garden. And I just love thinking about like the bounty of life or the treasures that we have in life.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the products that you can get, but also the experiences that you can share with other people. Yeah. It's really cool.
What advice would you give to your 25-year-old self?
I'm only 26. So.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how old you are. Good. What advice would you give to yourself a year ago?
Just keep doing it. Just keep doing what you're doing and stay consistent. I was doing a bit less YouTube, a bit, yeah. I wasn't that consistent a year and a half ago because I had a job, unfortunately. But I would say don't focus on the job, but focus more on the YouTube because I think that is one of my passions. And then if I could make that to be like a full-time thing, then it will be pretty key. It would be really cool if I could do that full-time.
We'll get into the dance a little bit between your work and your desire to be in nature in a little bit. I had a question here, like what gets you out of bed and into the wild when a lot of people would rather stay on the couch?
I've got a lot of personal drive to do these adventures, even without the YouTube. I just like going out and having a good time, and it is good for my mental health. I don't really suffer from mental health, down spires, but I do notice that I'm more together in the wilderness.
I guess follow-up question is sort of like what drives you? The challenge, the solitude, the beauty, the joy, something deeper, all of the above?
I don't know, it's kind of tricky because I've got the channel now. It's hard to sort of separate the reasons for doing it, but because the more content I can make, the more I can put the videos out there and inspire others to go out. And then also angle towards being able to do it full time. So it's hard to know what the motivation really is. It's hard to sort of separate it, but I still really do enjoy just going out there for my own personal well-being.
When we were talking in the kitchen earlier, you mentioned something around working as little as possible to do what you love, which is adventures. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So I'm a builder, so I am self-employed and I only work as much as I need to go hunting all the time and fishing. And it's nice to be able to be in a position to be able to do that. So 'cause I've got quite low expenses. But then also the YouTube is starting to turn into kind of work because the editing, as you know, would just takes a long time. Yeah. So yeah, it's sort of a split between YouTube and building at the moment.
Yeah. Can you tell me about one of your adventures and maybe go into a bit of detail so people can get a little bit of a sense of just the types of stuff that you do and why you are building this following? Not that it's about the following, but what people are loving about your adventures. What we love about your adventures is just you're on your boat, it's you, man versus wild. That's kind of how it feels when you're watching them. And, you've got all of this gear and you're just so confident in how you put it all together, and doing things on your own terms. So tell me about one of your adventures and sort of paint the picture for me.
Sure. So I don't know, in the 4-week Fjordland trip, for example, I guess I just planned for, a couple of weeks, and then I watched through a weather window for a month, just waiting for a calm period for me to get around that really exposed southern coast of New Zealand. And then it was like perfect weather going out there. It was beautiful. And then once you're in the Sounds, it's pretty calm. But then I just show on the video what I would do in real life, or what I do in real life. So it's quite like genuine content, which I think resonates with quite a lot of people.
Say you're in Fjordland, and what might a typical day look like in terms of adventure? Like you wake up, you do what?
Just wake up and then decide what would be cool to eat. And then try to catch whatever would be cool to eat. Go like find some birds to film and walk up the hill if I wanted to. But Fjordland's really steep, so probably not too much walking. But yeah, mostly around trying to like see some cool stuff, and then if possible try and catch something and eat something.
How much preparation has to go into a trip like that?
Quite a lot, and then also not that much. So I needed to work out how much fuel I needed for the whole trip, because there's no like infrastructure down there to refuel. So I just like worked out how far I would be going and took how much I needed. And then the food, I took loads of food, like way more than I needed. I think I could have spent another like month down there, particularly because there's so much stuff to catch and eat down there that you don't really need to take a whole lot. But I did, food and fuel are the main two concerns. And then safety. Well, safety is probably the first concern. You just like pack a whole lot of like safety stuff, like I guess a life jacket, auxiliary motor, and all the like PLB and
EPIRB.
radio stuff.
And tell me about some of the sort of stuff that you're catching and eating, because it's like quite a, I don't know, bountiful variety, for lack of a better word.
But yeah, particularly down in the Fjordland, it's just so untouched. There's just like crayfish in like 1 metre of water, and like power on the beach pretty much, and all sorts of different species of fish. Though I could only seem to catch blue cod when I was down there.
And lots of flounder.
Yeah, lots of flounder. Flounder were good. And then I also did a chamois hunt in the tops. I was really surprised to find them up there, but that was set me up for meat for a whole week.
And then a mix of camping and staying in huts.
I think I stayed in huts a couple of nights, but there's not very many huts down there, so mostly just camping on the foreshore. Yeah. But recently I've got a boat set up so I can put the hammock on the boat. I think so. I'll probably take that down to Fjordland next time, and that means I don't have to find a flat camp spot on the hill. In Fjordland, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, flat camp spots are challenging.
Yes.
So I guess lots of people wouldn't obviously choose to be alone. What sort of draws you to that experience? You've sort of alluded to the fact that you just really like your own company. Like, do you get lonely, or like what is it about the solitude that sort of you enjoy?
I guess growing up in the Marlborough Sounds was very remote, and so I sort of built up a lot of self-reliance. Like, there's no neighbours that were nearby enough to hang out with on a regular basis, which was really nice. It really suited me.
Do you also think that maybe like a lot of your creativity comes from that? It's like, so I grew up on a farm as a child. We didn't have really any neighbours or any friends. And so I think like the trees and maybe the cicadas were my friends. Do you think
that's nice.
Maybe that's where some of your creativity or imagination sort of comes from?
Probably. I don't know if I'd think about that specifically, but I do like really enjoy the solitude and just like being alone with my own thoughts.
And what do you think is something that nature has taught you that no human could?
That's a good question. Self-reliance, definitely. Just being able to just roll with whatever comes your way, and just like be adaptable. It's just an experience thing. If you can be out there and the weather switches, for example, there's nothing that quite prepares you for it than just being out there doing it.
What's the wildest mission that you've ever been on?
Some of those bigger boating missions. I don't know. Well, down the south coast of Stewart Islands, I encountered some very rough weather. So I don't take any weather forecasting devices, which is probably kind of stupid, but I don't know. A lot of the things I do is kind of driven by cost. I don't have very much money because I don't work very much. So I can do a lot of these trips. Down the south coast of Stewart Islands, I didn't know what weather was coming, and I kind of vaguely knew that day in particular was going to be good from the long-term weather forecast before I left. So it was supposed to be 20 knots southerly, turned to like 25 or 30, and then like a 5 metre swell came like on the nose, and it was like
Fun.
really rough weather. And I had like I was like going around from Easy Harbour around to the east side of Fjordland down the bottom, and so it was like a 5-hour journey. Could have been done in 2 if it was flat, but it was extremely rough, really wild, but really good experience, and came through it.
Have you ever had a moment where you were like, this is just ridiculous, I can't believe this is happening to me? So not necessarily like wild, but is it like a profound moment of like awe or gratitude? And like, what was that moment?
I don't know if it ever hits me that profoundly,
Yeah.
but occasionally I will just like stop and listen, and then it seems like there's just absolute silence, and it's just a super sense of peace just washes over. And that's really, really nice. And then sometimes I just have to remind myself occasionally just to stop and listen. But particularly when there's no wind and there's just no background noise, no like vehicles. I mean, your place is kind of like that here, but it's very much like it at home in the Sounds. It is just really peaceful sometimes.
I love I think that is profound, like anytime you experience peace,
Yeah.
especially in this hustle and bustle of the world these days,
yeah.
which is probably why you spend so much time in the wild, right?
Exactly, yeah. So many places there's just nothing going on, nothing that reminds you that there is a real world out there, and yeah, being out there, experiencing it with nothing, no reminder is nice.
Have you ever had a moment where the bush has humbled you?
Yeah, I fell off a mountain once.
Tell me about that.
When I was first getting into public land hunting, which is like 4.5 years ago, did a camper van trip around the South Island in the winter, so it was really cold. It was just when we were starting tar hunting, so we saw some tar up on the hill from the car park. It was like, oh, let's get on them. And they were only a couple of k's away, so it was not too big of a deal. We had like 3 hours of light left. So shot straight up the hill. We had a rifle with us, me and a good mate. And then, I don't know, they just disappeared from sight, so we just continued chasing. I was a bit too keen. And then we went around the south side of the hill, and then it just got frosted and really steep. I was just like, my friend Alex, he was like, I don't know if you should go up there. And then I went up there, and then just like my feet went out from under me. I free fell for about 10 meters, and then just like rolled down the hill for another 20. And thankfully I landed on a nice bit of like snow, and just like came to a nice steady stop. But my head apparently cartwheeled past a tree for about this far away, and that could have been like certain death. And then I had some binoculars around my neck, and there was a tree jutting across the slope, and the strap of the binoculars latched onto the tree and broke the binoculars in half. So that could be my neck.
Lucky it didn't snap your neck.
Exactly. Yeah. Somebody it was super very near death, and I walked away with a few bruises, and so super lucky, and I'm much more cautious these days.
A little bit more,
Have a good look at it, and then probably just don't do that dodgy stuff.
Yeah, less risk.
Still risky, but much more have a good look at it and be more cautious.
Do an assessment.
Yes, exactly.
A proper assessment.
Yeah. Don't fall off that mountain.
Yeah, try not to fall out of the boat or off the mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the line, do you think, between bravery and madness, and how do you know when you're crossing it?
That's a good, yeah. Yeah, like we were just saying, it's don't do the really, really stupid things, but then also manage the risks. So with the boat in particular, I think the risks have been managed quite well, with all the safety equipment that I take with me. So I'm happy to go offshore, 45 kilometres, I think was the furthest. The rest of the line is very blurred. But if you can think about the risks and manage them as well as possible, then I'm more than happy to take risks. But just don't do really stupid things. Without being prepared prior. Yeah.
Heard it here first. Basically, don't be an idiot if you value your life.
Yeah. Common sense. Just go for it, but within reason.
Are there any fears you had to get over to live the way that you do?
Not on the adventure side, I'd say. But perhaps on the personal side in some ways. But I'm sort of future focused. I don't really think about... In some ways, I don't really think about the past too much, which is a very good way of moving forwards. But then, I don't know, some lessons I should have probably remembered. But I don't know, very future focused. So it's just moving forward with life.
And some of those personal ones, is that more related to like putting yourself on YouTube, like having your life seen?
Yeah, in some ways. But yeah, that's really easy to sort of disconnect from because it's like that's online, and then whatever I do is on the personal side. It's totally different. But yeah, I don't know. I just like roll with it. Whatever happens, happens. Pretty easy go.
So can you tell me a little bit about your career? Because you're a builder. What led you to that path?
Mum. No, so as a kid I was very like tinkery. So I do like woodworky projects and like carving and stuff. As an upbringing I was more like practical, I guess. And then after school I did like 13 years of school, left and then did a gap year, like went skiing and like a bit of overseas travel and stuff. And then the year after, Mum really pushed me to do some sort of education. So then I did a 9-month pre-trade course at a polytechnic. And that was really good. We built a house over 9 months.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really good like basis of skill for all of the different steps to building a house. And then after that, I built my own like little 10 square metre studio. Took 7 months, but that was also really good to sort of like cement all the things in. And then after that, sort of just became self-employed, and then sort of not really focused on a career in it because it's not a passion, it's just a way to get by. But I'm decent at it, so work's not too difficult to come by. But yeah, work as little as possible to kind of go hunting as much as possible. Work as little as I can to go hunting as much as possible.
Because that's where you want to be, hey?
Yes, exactly. On the hill.
On the builder side, I sort of wonder, like, I've seen some of the stuff that you create in the wild, like your sticks that you just catch like millions of flounder with. I sort of wonder if you have like a future in like some sort of woodworking endeavour, maybe.
Actually, I'm just about to start. I'm thinking about doing merch, and so like some basic things like chopping boards and like fish slices. So I think that would be quite cool. But I do like. I've always liked doing little like delicate carvings as a kid, but I'd like to get more into doing that soon. I don't know if that would be a job, but definitely merchandise as woodwork would be quite cool.
Hey, everyone has, I wouldn't say obscure, that's the wrong word, but there's a bounty of career paths out there for everyone these days.
Yes. For the woodwork, I probably wouldn't like want to. I don't really want to make it as the job, but if it could help out with being able to do more hunting, that'd be great.
Do you know it'd be crazy, and this might be too much and take away from it, but what if you went on an adventure where you had to make all of your own furniture?
Furniture? That'd be awesome.
Like, this is dumb, but I still play The Sims. I don't know if you know The Sims. Like, it's a computer game.
I've heard of it.
Where you like run a simulation, and sometimes I run a challenge with my sim where they have to like, it's called the handiness skill, and they can build all of their own furniture. The more skill that they get goes up to level 10, and I think at level 10 you can build a toilet or something.
Nice.
I'm like, Tasman meets wild, builds furniture.
That'd be fun. It would be cool to do more sort of survival stuff. But that also is kind of tricky because you're not allowed to do any like cutting down things in the national park. So yeah, it would be a tricky balance trying to do that with things that you just find. But that sort of thing would be quite fun.
Like rotted wood that you don't know is going to support your weight.
Exactly.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit more about your philosophy around hunting and gathering?
Sure. I'm a meat hunter, and there's a lot of people who hunt for the the thing.
Trophies.
The trophies. The thing you can't eat. And that's fine. I'm not gonna say that it's wrong or anything. I would like to shoot a nice stag one day, but I'm certainly not in any hurry to do it. And I like to eat. So I like to catch things to eat. So that's all just driven by. And so I like to shoot the ones that taste nicer, so the younger ones or the female ones, rather than the big stinky like bulltail or chamois bucks.
So two very niche questions, which your audience will totally understand. But so you take a mincer with you and lots of condiments. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. I actually don't understand why more people don't take a mincer into the hills, because it just really increases your cooking repertoire. And the one I've got now is only 500 grams, so it's nothing to carry really. And then you just can eat so much more of the meat that you catch because there's only so much steak you can eat. And yeah, all of the different dishes you can make with mince is just really nice.
And what are some of your favourite condiments that you take with you? Do you take a lot?
I like chipotle. That's really nice. Smoked paprika. It's quite a lot of different spices. Because I made a few sausages on the hill, so it's really makes it much nicer. What other condiments are there?
I don't know, I've seen like tomato sauce.
Oh yeah, I take cans into the hill all the time. Like coconut cream in particular, and tomato.
Oh yeah, you make
really
quite
good.
a lot of curries, eh?
Yeah.
What are some of your favourite recipes?
Yeah, just like fairly standard ones. I wouldn't say that I do particularly fancy cooking, but I do quite a lot of it. But just like, I'll take some stuff from the pantry and just whack it together, whatever I take up.
I just love that, like, you're gorging on like fresh crayfish and power and, you know, like freshly shot, like meat a lot of the time.
And in terms of recipes, it's often nice just to do the thing by itself, like with a bit of garlic butter or something. Just really simple, particularly the seafood, yeah.
And another niche question is like, you use a hand fishing line a lot of the time. Like, why do you prefer to fish with that?
It's like a nice connection. It's like it doesn't get more direct than that unless you're like catching it by hand or something. But essentially, it is just like really close to the fish. I don't know. You just feel it in your hands. It's just quite cool. And also, it's really cheap. So a lot of the things I do are driven by. It doesn't have to be the most expensive thing to go and have a good time. So I don't know. You can spend thousands of dollars on a nice fishing rod, but it's not really necessary. And that's one thing that I like to try to show the audience, that you don't need the most expensive gear to go out and have a good time.
I really like that, because I think in the consumer world that we live in, it can be like, you can almost feel a lot of pressure to like have all this gear to do all these adventures, but actually the adventure is there, and sure, you need like enough for safety,
yeah.
like warmth and shelter and those sorts of things, but everything else like is sort of just about the joy of the adventure, right?
Exactly, yeah. And that has changed a little bit since I got sponsored by Bushbuck. Like, I do have quite a few nicer, newer clothing and stuff, but I still like to show, like, I go hunting in like a t-shirt and shorts, nothing too fancy, not head-to-toe in camo.
You're always in your jandals or bare feet in some pretty crazy conditions, and in winter.
I lost my jandals on a recent trip, unfortunately, otherwise I'd still be in them.
Gotta buy some more.
The safety jandals I wear safety jandals for building. It's really bad.
That might be one of those things where your followers are like, hey, maybe wear some shit.
Yeah, probably.
That's good. Has the outdoors helped your mental health or mindset in any way?
Yes, definitely. I don't really struggle with mental health, but I do notice that I do go into like a slight downwards after a trip, which is kind of funny. But on the trip, it's great. It's like elevated, very good levels of, I guess, dopamine. But yeah, it's normally like a fairly good baseline, but then on a trip, it bumps up a bit.
And what do you think you get from the wild that you can't get from anywhere else?
Just like peace. It's just so nice.
This one is a bit pertinent to what we were talking about before, but you come close to the edge with a lot of your adventures. How do you think that's shaped how you live your life in the way that you do?
And it's hard to describe, but I like to spend as much time as possible with my family and the friends that I have. Very limited amount of friends because they're mostly overseas. But yeah, I think I've realised that I'm not focused towards working as much as possible I don't know. It would be good to set up my future, but hopefully the channel can sort of like be that one day. But I like to spend as much time as possible. Like, I spent 3 weeks in Tasmania with my mum recently, and it's nice because, yeah, like you were saying before, it's like, got limited time with them, gotta use it.
Yeah, firm believer that if you have a great relationship with, you know, your family, your siblings, that not everyone is lucky enough to have that, and so you might as well invest as much time there as possible.
Yeah, particularly if you get on with them quite well.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really special, actually.
Yeah, really lucky, yeah.
So is your mum able to keep up with your adventures?
Yeah. She's probably the fittest woman I know. It's really cool. She is complaining about being old, but she doesn't act it. So she comes hunting with me. She's only been on a couple of hunts with me, but I'm hoping to do a bit more of that soon. But yeah, it's really fun.
So cool.
And I do sort of more diving with Dad.
Hey, that's interesting. So hunting with mum and diving with dad.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very cool.
Yeah, Dad's not into the backcountry sort of stuff, but
Why is that?
Mum is. He likes to be comfortable, and nothing wrong with that. Backcountry hunting is not comfortable.
No.
I mean, we did take a MIA tent into the last hunt that I did in the helicopter hunt, and that was really nice.
Your hammock, is it actually comfortable to sleep in?
Yeah, I actually think it's more comfortable than a tent.
Okay,
It's
tell
like
me about
it
that.
sort of like cradles your body, and like you don't. I thought I only got it like 6 months ago, but I thought you sleep like a log. But you can just you can roll on your side. You can't sleep on your stomach. That's weird.
Yeah, no, that would be.
Yeah. But you can curl up on your side. It's really quite comfortable. Yeah. On the boat, it's not so comfortable. If it's calm,
you're like...
yeah. Because it's like this. If you get rocked this way, then you just slosh around in it. But on flat calm, it's really nice. Yeah.
What do you do when you're not when you're out in the wild and you're not hunting and you're not eating and you're not cooking what you're eating? Like, do you read or what sort of stuff do you do?
I like reading fiction. I don't read as much as I probably should. But then also I watch a few hunting videos on my phone, in the winter particularly, there's a lot of dark where you can't really do much else.
Yeah.
So it is good to read a book or watch a video too. And then there is a lot of time that is spent processing the catch and then eating it, particularly if you're in a film like a cooking show. Takes a lot of time. So a lot of that is taken
Hi, I'm
up.
Tasman. Welcome to my cooking show in the wild.
Exactly.
What made you want to share your life and adventures online?
My friends, we watched YouTube videos about the wilds in New Zealand before, but my friends, my best friend from childhood, we grew up together, separate, but when we came together, we got along really well. He left to Europe to study. He came back in 2021, I think, and so we were just we really got straight back into adventuring really hard. So we just grabbed a few cameras and dragged them along with us. And then he left 9 months later, but it was still good to get started on the channel.
It seemed like you two were always laughing.
Yeah.
90% of your episodes together, obviously great content, but you were always laughing and having fun.
I don't know if the content was that great, but we had a good time, which is the main thing. And that's still what I try to do, but this channel completely changed, or the trips completely changed after he left because we just have such a good time together. Yeah. Like you say, just laughing the whole time. just to have a good time. But yeah, it sort of just started as a bit of fun. Yeah.
Are you really selective with who you go on adventures with?
Not really, but I am selective who I go on a second trip with.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh,
there are a few people who have taken on one trip and then it's that's enough of that.
Is that because they're not interesting or they're not safe or?
A bit of everything, yeah. But more probably just we didn't really click that well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was fine. It's nothing that outrageously bad. But I was just you pick your friends. You can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. So just deciding who you want to spend that time with.
I'm a bit weary sometimes of going hiking because we do a bit of hiking and off-roading.
Cool.
And I feel like what my husband and stepson have taught me about that. And then sometimes I'll go on adventures by myself, in the four-wheel drive, which I feel is so cool.
That's awesome.
Off-road.
Good on you.
And sometimes I'm this is a bit dodge. And then I'll see, I watched a YouTube video the other day. It was a bit silly and they were going through puddles. And I was like, come on, this isn't off-roading. But I am a bit wary of who I take on adventures. I think mainly from a safety perspective, because it's if someone isn't equipped to a basic level of safety and maybe mountaineering or navigation or those sorts of things. Yeah. You're are you going to put my life at risk if I have to
rescue you?
Yeah.
Yeah, to some degree, definitely. I guess, I don't take a whole lot of people out with me because of the things that I do. It's hard for me to make them accept that risk because some of them are risky, and then I've got to be worried about them. Which is something tricky to juggle.
And then you're not able to be authentic to yourself, I guess, in the adventure. Right?
Well, you've got to compromise if you take somebody with you. But if you go by yourself, you can just do exactly what you want. Yeah. But it is something that I do sometimes, and I would like to do a bit more of teaching people or taking people with me.
If someone wants to get into like adventures, what are some of the things that you would sort of encourage them as like first steps to like building up their competency or building up their comfort even with, you know, being in the outdoors?
I guess it would be like do your research and then find somebody to go with, like some sort of like a mentorship. So like sometimes I will take people with me who are complete newbies at it, and then that's really nice being able to teach them the sort of like the start, and then they can go from there. Just find somebody experienced to sort of like, I don't know, go with. Yeah.
Learn off.
Yeah. And yeah, you don't really need to buy a whole bunch of stuff. Just like buy enough to be, like you say, safe and prepared, but not necessarily the latest and greatest, most expensive head-to-toe camo.
How do you you've sort of alluded to this, but like how do you balance the storytelling aspect with living the experience?
Living the experience comes first, and then storytelling is tacked onto the side.
So I guess growing up, how you grew up in Marlborough Sounds and, you know, from such a young age just being involved in so many different outdoorsy things, sounds like you learned everything by rote, but like is there any courses that you did for any of your skills?
I guess it's a tricky one. I've done like one outdoorsy type survival-y course, 1 week long. I think I was 16-ish. But a lot of things, it was just the sort of things that we did at home anyway. So it was fun. I don't know if we really learned a lot of stuff. We just went out there to have a good time.
It almost sounds like your childhood was like Outward Bound meets like nourishment from family.
Yeah. It was a good childhood. I found it to be a good childhood. Really lucky.
If you could go anywhere with unlimited time and no constraints, what's the adventure that you think calls you the most?
I think something overseas where there's something... Because New Zealand's very safe, except for the weather, there's nothing that can get you.
Yeah.
But if there's bears or like wolves or like, I don't know, crocodiles or something like a bit more like that makes you feel alive would be really cool. Like some sort of in Canada, I think would be really cool.
A little challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like ticks. So there's ticks in Scotland, and I hate ticks, and they're not. I don't like that.
Like, do you know when you get overwhelmed by like your body, like
tenses up?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
yeah.
I hate ticks.
Yeah. Have you experienced ticks before?
I used to live on a farm, and I actually had one.
Oh, really? On
my
you?
scalp's crawling.
Was it in Northland somewhere?
Yeah.
We're quite lucky there's almost no ticks in the South Island.
It's just too cold.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like, it's a wonderland.
Apart from the sandflies, but that's manageable most of the time.
They don't give you any diseases that like can affect you for the rest of your life.
Just make you itchy.
Did you know there's a red meat allergy tick?
Really?
So in the eastern states, if you get bitten by I think it's the Lone Star tick,
okay,
you can develop a red meat allergy and you just can't eat red meat
That would
anymore.
be terrible for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't go to a place that has those.
Exactly, no eastern United States.
Do you know what? This is random, but when I was on my last podcast tour, I drove to really rural Virginia to this guy's trout farm. And as I'm driving there, this like black bear just runs across the road. And I was like, like 2 meters in front of the car. And I was like, wow, made my day. I was like, that's so freaking cool. Yeah, like awesome. A bear? We don't have bears.
We don't have anything dangerous.
And then I like text, husband, family, and they're like, I was like, man, come on, be more enthusiastic. Like, this is like groundbreaking.
What? Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
And then the people that you went to visit are probably like, yeah, we see them every day.
Yeah, they're like, we live on rurally. I was like, how terrifying.
But it would be super cool just to experience something different like that.
Yeah, I think Alaska would be.
Alaska and sort of Canada, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
What worked really well for you from your parents that like helped you do what you do now?
I guess like encouragement and independence. They let me do a lot of things that I guess a lot of parents wouldn't let kids do, and there's something that mum's had to come to terms with a bit for the things that I do now. They just let me do it, which is nice. Yeah.
And is that like the hunting, or was it like fishing at a young age, or taking you on adventures, like not being helicopter parents?
Yeah, definitely not helicopter parents. Definitely the rural upbringing really suited me, and growing up in such a way that you go out and catch your own things I think it's good for any kid. Yeah. But it's so difficult to do it these days.
Okay, are you ready for a quick fire round?
Go for it.
What, in your opinion, is the most underrated fruit or vegetable?
Underrated fruit or vegetable?
Yeah.
I don't eat fruit or vegetables.
That can be your answer.
Yeah.
I don't eat fruits and vegetables. Worst meal that your parents made you eat?
Scallops and mussels.
Really? You don't like them?
I do now. Oh, and onions.
Okay.
I did not like them at all as a kid.
Wow.
But it's just because there were lots of them around. But now I love them. So
And is it maybe
just
how they were
mussels.
cooked or just too much?
it's like, I don't know, it's just something about the scallop in particular. And I still don't like mussels, actually.
Texture?
Just taste,
Oh,
texture,
yeah.
everything. Everything's wrong with the mussels,
Yeah.
but scallops are quite yummy now.
Oysters?
Yeah. Disgusting.
What word describes your life?
Free.
It's a great word. What are you most proud of?
My family.
Yeah. Do you have any principles or tenets that you live by?
Just be kind. Just like, you don't need to make any sort of negative impact on your way. It's like, if you don't have anything positive to say, don't say it. It's that kind of thing. It's like, just positive first.
What's one thing that's really mattered in your life that maybe you didn't realise mattered it as much at the time?
What other people think of you, I guess. Like, putting yourself on the internet, lots of people have lots of opinions, but all that matters is, I don't know, the people that you care about personally and what you think of yourself.
Yeah.
But what the other people's opinions really don't hold any sway.
Yeah. Top survival tip or two?
Stay warm and dry.
And then what's one thing you always carry even if it seems overkill?
4 knives. If I go hunting, I was like, I love knives are good.
Yeah.
And you can never have too many knives. And I do mostly backpack hunting, and knives, it's like really good.
Yeah.
I take a kitchen knife with me. Just like, each knife has its own purpose.
Yeah. Like a mini chef.
Exactly.
What brings you joy?
Nature.
What's something that's in your toolkit for when you're having a bad day, a bad week, or a tough season or phase?
Nature. Go out and be alone. Yeah, that really fixes pretty much anything going on.
And then what's a simple habit that's made your life better?
Yeah, just spending a lot of time alone. there's a lot of, I don't know, some people are just not worth spending time around with. And I find that myself is quite a good person to spend some time with.
I have a bit mini saying which might, I don't know, reveal some of my introverted tendencies, but I'd prefer to spend time by myself than with someone that isn't a good fit for me or drains my energy or something.
Exactly, yeah, those words definitely.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with the Bountifull audience or with your own audience about you or your life, or even encouraging them to get outside?
Yes, I would encourage anybody to go and experience the beautiful nature that we have as much as possible. And yeah, the channel is sort of geared towards, you don't need to go out and buy the most expensive stuff, just enough to be safe enough. Just go out and have a good time. Particularly in New Zealand, we've got such a access to a great, bountiful nature.
There you go. Last question is, if you were trying to describe the New Zealand outdoors and wilds to even people in Auckland, but to overseas visitors that haven't been here and maybe haven't seen much stuff online, or who were just listening rather than watching the video, how would you describe New Zealand to someone?
The best in the world. There's nothing that can top it in terms of freedom and the things that we can do and gather from the land. It's the best country, yeah.
Love it. That's a wrap. Thanks, Tasmin, for coming on the Bountifull Podcast. It's been so fun having you here, and also just hearing more about your story. It's been sort of great understanding just a little bit more of your backstory and understanding what drives you in all of the videos that you put online.
Thanks very much for having me on. It was very fun.